What's up, Noles fans? Florida State has some pretty big matchups coming up this week, and you don't want to forget to mark your calendars. I'm Anthony Fernandez, here to keep you up to date with what's coming up in Seminole athletics. The men's basketball team will face off against Notre Dame at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center tonight at 8. The Fighting Irish are below 500 on the road and in conference play this season, while the Noles are looking to stay hot after jumping into the top 5 for the first time since 1972. The men's and women's track and field teams are also in action today at the second day of the Bob Pollock Invitational in Clemson, South Carolina. The number 1 ranked Seminoles will battle against 6 different schools, 2 of them being in the top 100 of the Division I rankings. Moving back to Tallahassee, the women's basketball team will square off against the Miami Hurricanes tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Seminoles defeated the Hurricanes earlier this season by 11 points, and no matter what these teams are ranked, the Florida State-Miami rivalry is always exciting to watch. And speaking of a rematch, the men's basketball team will hit the road to take on Virginia in Charlottesville this Tuesday at 7 p.m. FSU came out victorious in a back-and-forth matchup against the reigning national champions on January 15th, so Florida State will be put to the test in overcoming a hyped Cavalier crowd. You can support your Seminoles both at home and on the road by checking out Seminoles.com for the latest in FSU athletics. I'm Anthony Fernandez for Noles All Access.
I can do everything. Play the field, run, hit, bunt, the little things. I'm a grinder, so nose to the ground. I'm gonna get my work in and be a tough out.
Most athletes accept that one day they will have to walk away from the sport they've played since they were young. However, life sometimes has a funny way of prolonging an athlete's career. For senior outfielder Tim Becker, FSU baseball's walk-on tryouts provided the perfect opportunity to keep playing the game he loves. This talented Noles squad will be led by first-year head coach Matt Cain, a former college coach who took a break from the NCAA to coach professionally. Even though he is working with younger talent than he's been accustomed to over the last few years, his coaching style stays consistent.
Coach Cain has definitely made us work a lot harder.
Coach Cain, his workouts are very tough, but they're tough in a good way.
Very technically oriented, but I'm also a big believer in strength. Like, the worst indictment in the world is to see that your athletes are not fit. So we work from that angle first, and then we work on the technical component, making sure their body's in the right position. And when you're fit, body tends to get in the right position a whole lot more.
He expects a lot more, but he makes us expect it from ourselves as well.
Coach Cain and the Seminoles entered this season as the number 1 indoor team in the country. While preseason rankings are overlooked by most in collegiate athletics, if teams aren't careful, they might get passed by.
If he uses that, he can become a better golfer, and he's kind of taken that to heart, and he's been doing that very well so far.
While excelling on the golf course, the design and architecture major also enjoys another talent off the course that one might not expect.
Since I was younger, I've always liked drawing and making stuff and everything. Something I really like, and something I've always kind of had a drawing to. I'm not really the business guy, I'm not really good with math or anything. So just something I can get my hands on, use my mind and create and stuff. That's what I enjoy.
In an effort to make those two worlds collide, Calvin uses his creativity as an asset on the golf course, not only for himself, but for his teammates.
Being creative and drawing everything, you have to be so visual with everything and just kind of almost see it in advance before you do it. Pretty close to golf, you see a shot, you want to hit, and you got to do it, so. Besides studying their opponent's tendencies, these student athletes can add new aspects to their game by learning from each other, showing that having an international unit can give the Noles a competitive advantage.
I'm not very surprised when I play other players from different teams because we have every single game style on our team. So if I need to practice something that I'm not good at, I can just pick a player from our team and practice against them and make myself better.
What's up, everybody? I'm Anthony Fernandez with your Seminoles segment. The 5th-ranked Florida State soccer team continued to prove they're a force to be reckoned with after defeating number 22 Clemson in the first round of the ACC tournament. Dana Castellanos knocked in her 11th goal of the season in the 17th minute, and the Noles held the Tigers scoreless heading into the second half. Tigers freshman forward Lauren Brunn stepped up big in the 63rd minute, scoring her first goal of her career to tie the matchup at 1. In the 77th minute of play, Jalen Howell struck a dagger to the back of the net, helping the Noles take the 2-1 victory. Looking back at Dana Castellanos, her assist on the last goal allowed her to take sole possession of second place on FSU's all-time points list. Moving on from the pitch to the links, The FSU men's golf team wrapped up their fall season in the Bahamas with a second-place finish at the White Sands Invitational. The team shot 24 under par, scoring better than top-ranked Wake Forest and number 2 SMU. John Pack led the Noles in this one, as his season-low 65 in the final round of the tournament brought him to 6th place individually. Along with Pack, Jamie Lee and Calvin Sirota also finished in the top 11 after both finished 6th under par. Although the team is not ranked in the top 25, these 3 golfers will be a key to the Noles' success in the springtime. The Seminoles' spring season will start on February 10th when they head to the Mobile Sports Authority Intercollegiate in Alabama.
So, Coach, you guys came off of a great season last year, 19 wins. It took you to the second round of the NCAA tournament. What are some takeaways from last year, and how have you applied it to this season?
Well, I think last year we had a little attitude of like next man up because, we lost our number 1 player for the year last year, all but a few matches, and I think different people stepped up, and I think Lucas Polian was a big part of that. Had a great year, qualified for the individual NCAAs, and now he's off playing professionally. So, we've got some people to replace, but also we got a lot of veterans back, and we've got a lot of good players on this team, and I think the challenge for me is putting them in the right spots and who to play each day.
And one of the big stat lines that stood out to me was a 14-2 record at home. What is it about this place right here, the Scott Spiker Memorial Tennis Center, that really brings out the best in your players?
Yeah, we've won about 85 to 90% of our matches playing here at home over the last 4 years, and I think part of it is just, we have great attendance from students and fans in the area, and you saw that earlier this year when we beat Mississippi State in a hard-fought match, and we had almost 700 people here, and standing room only, and so that makes a difference, and I think our very entertaining brand of tennis our guys bring, and so we appreciate the support we get.
And you guys lost some big seniors last year in Aziz Dugaz and Lucas Poulon. So who are you looking for to step up this season, or who have you already seen step up this season?
We've got 2 new guys in Loris Poirier and Marcus Walters. Loris is one of the best players out of France and played the junior Grand Slams, and he's had some big wins. He won against Mississippi State, won against Florida here. And then Marcus Walters is junior college national singles and doubles champion the last 2 years. So he's a very experienced guy and from England, and so I look at those 2 guys as really adding to what we already have coming back, and those guys are going to be very important to us this year.
And looking at your schedule, you guys this season are playing 10 out of the 11 teams that you lost to last season. So this season, how are you going about avenging those losses?
Well, I think first of all, we get a lot of those teams at home this year. So, I think playing them at home can make a difference, and we're going to have, I think, 4 matches in the top 15 at home coming up here, the ACC season. So those are going to be big matches for us, and we'll need our crowd to get out here and support, and our people in the community. But the one guy that's really stepped his game up, I think, is Alex Naff, playing in line 1 for us. He's now ranked, top 60 in the country, and he was actually leading the number 2 player in the country, and another guy that was a top 10 player in the country. Didn't get to finish those matches, but Alex has really shown that he can play with the top players in the country.
And now you've been at the helm for Florida State for over 20 years. You've accumulated over 300 wins over your career here. What's different about this team? What really stands out to you about this team that's going to help them in the long run?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about this team is the depth. We've got 10 guys that all contribute and all can play, and I think just getting them with the mindset is today's the day that I'm going to contribute, and I think we'll be successful if we get that.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and good luck to you for the rest of the year.
All right, thank you.
You're always looking for that guy to set the pace, set the tone. Naturally, young guys that haven't been on the field that much are going to look for that in somebody.
Enter Ryan Roberts. Standing at 6'6", the grad transfer from Northern Illinois University originally entered Doak Campbell Stadium in 2018 as an opponent. He quickly took notice of Florida State's die-hard culture.
I mean, going to Doak and playing in that environment from the away team, it's intimidating, man. The fans here are incredible. People are, they're so passionate. They want FSU football to not only be great, but to excel at every aspect. You know, I'm extremely blessed now being on the other side of that, and you know, having all those cheers for me and for the team, it's great.
Fortunately for Roberts, the Seminole coaching staff also had an interest in him.
He's a motivated young man. You know, he knows what he wants. He's determined to get up every day and work to accomplish that. I mean, he's very genuine. He's got a ton of great intangible characteristics that you look for, you know, when you're trying to get a well-rounded individual to, you know, lead your line.
While Roberts brings 3 years of offensive line experience to the team, it isn't usually easy being the new guy on campus. Luckily for Ryan, he gained a roommate in quarterback Alex Hornibrook, who made that transition a little easier.
I think it definitely helped out that we're rooming together. We both said in the beginning of summer it would have been rough if we were just living alone. So you got to be close with your offensive lineman. So I think it's good that me and Ryan live together. It'd probably be bad if we weren't meshing too well, but we're real good friends, so it definitely helps out on the field.
You know, having someone to, you know, go through the adversity with always makes things easier, you know? He's a dude who works his butt off every day. You know, I always thought, like, I'm gonna always be the hardest worker in the room, and he makes that tough every single day. Nothing is good enough for him. He wants to be great. And that in itself makes me have to have the same attitude, you know?
The main thing with Ryan, you know, and he's a good vocal leader, but his actions speak louder than words because he works his tail off.
I think he's just consistent. Whenever he's out on the field, everybody knows what to expect from him. He doesn't really have a bad day. He doesn't have a day where he's not himself. So he's just a very dependable teammate, and he's definitely a no lineman that a quarterback would want to have.
Even though Roberts receives continuous praise for his leadership, when it's all said and done, he wants to be remembered by all as a man motivated by his faith.
I play for the Lord. I play for the audience of one. You know, when I'm done here, I want everybody to know that, you know, he played his heart out for the audience of one. That his ultimate goal was to be a beacon of light to the Lord. I want socially, academically, on the playing field, off the playing field, wherever it may be, I want you to be a physical representation of an invisible God.
Roberts will continue to play for his audience of one, but his supporting cast of 10 will look for him to help lead this offense for the rest of the season. I'm Anthony Fernandez for Noles All Access.
Set.
Joining the Florida State track and field team after 2 years at Arkansas Baptist College, Kason James made an instant impact.
Oh, he's immediately came in and became a leader. Guys respected him once he came in, and when they saw how hard he worked, people were willing to, you know, follow behind him.
James would go on to sweep every event he participated in during the 2019 ACC tournament, placing first in the 60-meter, 200-meter, and the 4x400-meter relay, earning ACC Indoor Track Performer of the Year and a bid to Nationals.
ACC Championship time!
Coming here, I really just expected to run and have fun, but I didn't think things would take off, you know, especially indoor since I'm not an indoor runner. So to be in that company and to receive those accolades was a fun time in my life.
But when all seemed to be going well, James encountered what he thought would be a small obstacle.
I was completely fine. Literally, this is how it would happen. I get to nationals, prelims, amazing. I wake up the day of finals and I got out of bed, my body felt amazing. As soon as I stepped on my foot was aching. The trainers, they pretty much treated it for the day, and then I ran on it, of course. Got back here after nationals, and come to find out it was a stress reaction on my foot.
Expectations were high at the national championships for James, who entered the 60-meter finals as the 5th seed. He finished in last place. He would finish second in the 200-meter finals, but his injury lingered into the outdoor season, sidelining him for the rest of the year.
I think I went through one of the biggest depression stages I've ever been through. And a lot of people don't know that, but I was honestly in a very bad state in my life. Like, of course I had a great indoor season, but it really meant nothing to me when I felt like I was able to do so much. So knowing I was gonna be my first outdoor season at FSU and seeing everyone run, it took a big toll on me.
Every setback comes with a learning experience, and Kason being off the track recovering from his injury allowed him to mature as an athlete.
When something you love to do is taken away from you, you learn to appreciate it more. I see now he has a newfound appreciation for track and field and what he really wants to do in this sport.
Now entering his final year at Florida State, The two-time All-American added a notable accessory to his appearance, allowing his creativity to show off his character.
I gotta show you about my leg sleeve, okay? It's something that's going, become a little signature for me. The quote is a quote by Maya Angelou, and it says, "My mission in life is to thrive with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." And each person that it represents is somebody that is significant in my life, just people that inspire me in their craft.
Hoping to ink his own legacy on the track, Kason has blown everyone away with his ability to quickly embody what it means to be a Seminole.
I feel that he embraces it with power, because he know that the school that he's chosen, it was a great choice, and he know that we weren't going to let him down.
He competes as hard as anybody. He doesn't shy away from competition. He's really, really humble. He gets along with everyone. He respects his teammates. He respects his coaches. He's just a great young man all around.
Running with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style, Kason will look to stay healthy and give himself the best chance at the gold. I'm Anthony Fernandez for Noles All Access.